Hello you guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you leave a comment, and make sure you like the video if you are interested in this type of content that I do on this channel. And if you don't know what I do on this channel, I vlog about my daily life as a homemaker, a mother, a wife, and a child of God. Faith, deliverance, wilderness, whatever that God gives me in my life, I vlog about it. And the things that God have taught me, what I'm experiencing, what God is revealing to me, and things like that. So if you are interested in things like that, in Christian and faith type of content, and homemaker type of content, then make sure you subscribe to the family. So today, you guys, this video is about staying content, and it's not content. Staying consistent, even when you don't feel like it. So many times in my life where my emotions came ahead of me and I couldn't continue to do the things that God had called me to do. This morning when I made this vlog, I was going through a mental attack. The enemy pushed my emotions and I was going through an emotional, mental attack, you guys. And one thing the enemy does for me is that he pushes my emotions ahead of me, because if you know who I am, I've told you guys that I have been led off my emotions my entire life. And that's one thing that you cannot do as a Christian, is allow your emotions to lead you. Think about Jesus. Jesus still had to do his mission, even though he was emotional, but he didn't allow his emotions to get ahead of him and stop God's process that he had for him. He didn't allow his emotions to stop God's will and plan that he had for this world. And for me, you guys, one thing I want to be truly honest about, the reason why I really came to God, it wasn't because of a house. It wasn't because of a car, financial stability. Yes, those things are included. But really what was going on with me is that I have always had a mental instability, emotional attacks. Since I've been a child, my emotions have been affected in a very, very bad way. My emotions, I call it emotionally unstable. It gets to a point where if I allow my emotions to get ahead of me, I can't do what I'm supposed to do. It got so bad in my life that if laziness took over me, I wouldn't get up and take care of myself. I wouldn't get up and do the things that I was supposed to. And that's one thing that the enemy uses for me. He uses my emotional unstableness sometimes to get ahead of me and push those emotions out and stop trying to allow me to do the things that God have required for me to do. Remember, the enemy wants to be like God. So he have a mission for every last one of us. He uses his demon children, his demon spirits, to affect every last one of us. Just like God have a plan that's differently for every last one of us, the enemy has the same thing. That's why you can't judge people based off their path, or you can't despise or try to be like other people, because everybody have a different mission and different things that they deal with. And one thing I have been dealing with since I was a child was emotional instability. And one thing God is doing in my life is making my mental clear enough to live the life that he has called me to live, because the enemy have affected it so much since I was a child. So one thing God have revealed to me is that yes, you will have mental breaks. Yes, the enemy will push emotions on you. Yes, he will try to affect you. But you have to get through that emotional break. You have to get through that mental instability and do what I have called you to do. Because sometimes we believe when we get to the promised land, or that stability moment of our life, the enemy is going to stop. The enemy is going to push even harder to try to get you out of that promised land and push you into sin, push you to be against God. So when you're in a tough season, a wilderness season, God is honestly strengthening you. So when you go on the other side of that promise he had for you, you know that your mind is strengthened and have the capacity to deal with the pressure. One thing I have learned, so many messages I've heard, is that God have to teach you in the toughness for the pressure that is to come. Because when Jesus was coming, the enemy tried to tempt him all the time, through the Pharisees, through when he was fasting, all of that. But Jesus had the capacity to deal with it. Yes, he prayed and he cried, but he never allowed his emotions to affect the thing that God had for him. Yes, Jesus was a sinless man, but he was still human with human emotions. And one thing God is telling me today is control your emotions, because they are deceiving, and that is what the enemy is using to control you. And I refuse to put you in that land and your emotions destroy it. You will be in this wilderness for years until you control your emotions. Like, you guys, it will get so bad for me that if I wake up and irritation, my whole day is irritated instead of getting out of irritation. And one thing I want to tell you about the spirit of irritation, it's heavy. Sometimes it's hard to get out of. But if you really set your mind to get out of it, you can, by the Holy Spirit in prayer. And that's one thing I struggle with, because it's been a pattern in my life. I never knew how to deal with my irritation. But what God is telling me in this season is, when you're irritated, push through. When you are frustrated, come to me and leave that frustration at my feet. I care for you. Leave your worries at my feet. And by my spirit, I will give you the strength and the grace to overcome it. And there's so many times where I have to tell myself it's just an emotion. And if you have came across this video, maybe God is revealing to you that the one thing the enemy uses is an emotional instability attack. He gets you in your emotions, your negative emotions.
If you take me, I'll go even to the unknown, and I'll be right here, and I'll meet you there. You won't leave me alone, even in the unknown, and I'll be right here, and I'll meet you there. I've been through the fire, I've been through the storm.
So I just wanted to show you guys the things that we have bought on a daily living. We are towards the end of the month right now, so things are getting a little sketchy. So with about, I believe it was $33 that we have spent our Dollar Journal for everybody to eat. Oatmeal, tater tots. The reason why we eat tater tots now, because God have taken away meat for us. And I'm going to give you guys another conversation on meat. It's like a deeper conversation that needs to be talked about more often. But tater tots is one of the things we eat. And if we do eat sugar, it's something like this. Dollar General, those are really good. So if you ever shop there, those strawberry flavor and peanut butter flavor is really decent. And also the peanut butter kind is very decent. Similac, great for our children that we have, no matter what advanced, like sensitive, as long as it's Similac. Of course, milk for the kiddos when they're thirsty and things like that. And these cookies right here, no, I literally gave them to my kids because they are not good to me. I want to finish having this conversation with you guys. So, like I was saying about the negative emotions. And he uses those negative emotions and he pushes you out of the spirit and he pushes you into flesh. Flesh emotions is frustration, irritation, fits of anger, fits of rage, jealousy, comparison. If you think about Jesus, he really didn't have those type of emotions. He had the emotions that the Spirit give us. Joy, happiness, love, kindness, gentleness. Jesus was serious. He did get a little angry, but he didn't sin in his anger. So one thing I'm learning too is to allow the Spirit to give you your emotions. And I'm going to leave the verse on the top of this screen to show you guys.
Seen a lot of love, I seen a lot of war. Took a lot of losses, then I took some more. Even through it all, I know you fighting for me. Through all my lowest days, when I was losing faith, through all the tears and pain, still though I wouldn't trade. None of it wasn't it all making me something better than what I've been. And I want it, I'm loving it, let's run it, I'm saying. When I'm low, still I know that I'm not alone. I lean on you and I know you'll keep me strong. Rose up, tryna rise up, had to dead end. Every day I wake up, I'm resurrecting. If you take me, I'll go even to the unknown, and I'll be right here, and I'll meet you there. You won't leave me alone, even in the some funny shoes. Turning green from the wicked I was running through. Could've took me out if he wanted to. I know he was hearing me cry. Oh, sent me down and let me get my feet right. Now all my bad dreams get a goodbye. I don't know what you do, keep me on assignment. Angels surrounding me on my right and left. Now grace is what you call that. I know you got all that I need. You can find me right here. I know you got all.
I'm trying to get our children out of a lot of sugary foods. I'm so sorry, you guys. I hope you guys can hear me over my children right now. And another thing, I'm trying to get my artistic son to eat more of proteins or more foods that he can chew, because he's used to just swallowing like mashed potatoes. So right here, you guys, you see me prepping the oatmeal. This bowl that I'm using, I totally forgot that it was not microwavable. So you're going to see me eventually switch the bowls, because I'm like, oh, it's not. I'm going to put it in the plate. I'm going to do something, but make sure you get microwavable bowls if you live in a hotel, because it's much harder when you don't have them. So one thing I'm learning this season is, even if you don't feel like getting up and doing the things that God have called you to do, you're going to have to do it anyways. Because most of the time, that is what the enemy is using to affect you and stop you from doing God's work that he have in your life. Because all the enemy has to do is push an emotion. Irritation, frustration, laziness, tiredness, aggression, anger, anything. He will trigger you and you will not do what God have called you to do. And you have came across this video, it could be the reason why you're still stuck in a season of where you're like, God, why you're not moving me? Because God needs you to understand that you still got to get up. Yes, the enemy is going to try to come at your neck every time, because the enemy wants your soul. But by the Spirit, by Jesus, him dying for us, we have the Holy Spirit to help us overcome it. But you have to be willing to get up and fight. And I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to myself as I'm preaching, as I'm saying this right now. I have to learn how to get up and fight when those emotions come ahead of me. When I get angry, when I get frustrated. You can just wake out your sleep and you irritated. I have did that so many times. But I have to learn how to overcome that irritation. Because if I don't overcome it, God cannot put me in the position that he have called me to be in. You cannot allow your emotions affect the things that I have for you. And he tell me that all the time. And until I get it in my head, I will not go past this season. You could be in a house and you will be stuck in the same season because you haven't beat it and you haven't got the understanding that you need, that the enemy is pushing an emotion to stop you. So my encouragement today is stop allowing the enemy to push that emotion. And even if he do, you do the opposite. You sit with God and you pray and you worship and you meditate and you understand that it's just an emotion. Even if that emotion can be legit sometimes, let it go. Your kids acting crazy. You have told them multiple times to sit down and you have a crash out. Yeah, it's legit, but be patient. That's one of the gifts that the Spirit give us. Be patient, be kind, be joyful. You have to be patient with certain things. And that's what I'm learning. Because I get to a point, I'm crashing out sometime, you guys. But God is like, I don't crash out on you when you act like that. That's how I look at my children sometimes, how me and God is. When I'm going crazy and I'm being irritated and I'm not listening and I keep doing this and keep doing that, God keep forgiving me and giving me grace, and he's patient and he's kind. Yeah, he'll get strict, but he's going to show you this is why you shouldn't do that. So, because one thing God is not going to take away is our emotions, because it comes with flesh. And one thing you can't cast out is flesh. That's something you have to have gain control of by the Spirit. But by the Spirit, you will have self-control to not feed into those emotions. So I pray today that you guys understand this video, this vlog, and understand that your emotions is what the enemy is using. Your emotions is your trigger moments, and you have to overcome that emotion to do what God have called you to do. You have to overcome how that feeling is in your heart. I'm pretty sure Jesus felt a lot of emotions, but that didn't stop him from dying for us. I'm pretty sure he felt frustrated by his disciples, by the people, by the Pharisees, but he kept going. Last thing I want to say before I end this vlog, it's time to wake up. It's time to stop allowing the enemy to use your emotions to stop you. Because once you feed into that emotion, you're going to sit in that emotion. And we're going to have a conversation about sitting in it also next vlog soon. So make sure you turn your notifications on if you're interested. But you got this. And I'm talking to myself as well. You got this. By the Spirit. Jesus have given us the Spirit to overcome the enemy's attacks. But you have to be willing to get up. The Spirit is not going to force you. He's going to knock. He's going to guide you. But it's by your strength that you have to listen and push past what he is saying to do.
Prayed on my knees for my peace. Wanna see family feel at ease. Oh, and I know that there's more than this.
Also, one more thing. I'm sorry, you guys. Cassiel, that's my artistic son name. He's eating oatmeal. He had ate it before, but I feel like it was never enough flavor for him. So I got those instant pack like banana, strawberry, blueberry. And he was actually eating it. So in further vlogs, you'll actually see me prepping those type of meals for him. I'm really proud of him. I thought he was going to choke. I was low-key scared. But he took it and he's getting there. So I love you guys, and I see you guys in the next vlog. Catch you soon.
Yeah, if you say go, then I'll go.